Welcome, welcome, welcome. As I like to say every week, I'm still Dr. Arnold Nerenberg. And it's my pleasure, my delight to be in your presence and have this opportunity to present to you thoughts and insights and explorations of a lifetime that spanned over 83 years, almost 84 years now. And what a journey it's been. What a journey it's been.
I love it.
Now, I've also been licensed in the state of California since 1974 as a licensed clinical psychologist. And I've been in practice altogether inside California now over 50 years. So as I say to people, I'm 83 years old and I finally know what I'm doing. You're getting me at a good point in my life. So the title of today's presentation is The Psychology of Women's Beauty, Health, and Sexiness. The psychology of women's beauty, health, and sexiness, and they're all connected. First, let me say that I see men and women, a lot of my guys are working out, they look fit, they're looking good. And the women I see some postpartum, a lot of postpartum women, and so many are beautiful. I said, gee, these are good-looking women. And the funny thing is, if I say to a woman, rate yourself how you like your body from 1 to 5, on the average, they'll go 2 to a 3. And I'm looking at it and I'll go, what? So there's a disconnect. What I'm seeing with women is the reality of their beauty and then the reality of their self-assessment. And it's sad because I know how important it is to you women to look beautiful, to look pretty. Every woman, every normal woman wants to be pretty, sexy, beautiful. And there's so much beauty in so all of you. I mean the inner beauty and outer beauty. Beautiful. But you can't see it. Now, of course, it's all culturally based, is bound. I mean, we're talking about the United States of America in the year 2025, and particularly we're talking about Southern California. So women are comparing themselves to what they see on the internet, what they see models look like, what people look like in the movies. And my wonderful, beautiful postpartum patients still looking good. But they give themselves like a 2 out of a 5 because they compare themselves to what they look like prior to the birth of their child. And it really depresses women. It depresses my wonderful patients, my wonderful women that coming to me so sincere, wanting to improve their lives. Well, I'm going to be talking to you about how to improve that beauty, that prettiness. And all women, almost all women want to be sexy. I mean, that women want to look hot. End of story. You know, one wants to be beautiful, pretty, sexy, hot. At this time, 2025, Southern California, that's the desire. A lot of my patients, the women, are that. They're pretty, they're beautiful, sexy, and hot. It doesn't do any good to tell a woman that because they can't internalize it. You might think if you looked at the women that I see here, you would say, wow, she's a good-looking woman. But the woman feels, my belly's too big, my butt's too small, my breasts are too saggy, whatever. This is a sad state of affairs. And women have always wanted to be beautiful. Beauty has been there for thousands of years. Women want to look beautiful. Now, what's the reason for that? It all comes down to procreation, reproduction, attracting a male, the most fit, most virile man to impregnate her, fertilize those eggs, and bring children into the world. That's the whole thing about sexiness, prettiness, beauty. It has to do with attracting. Well, of course, a woman wants to look and feel proud of herself. Men, if they build up the arms, they're very proud of their arms. If a woman's breasts are perky, she's proud of her breasts. That's normal. Absolutely normal. All women want that. But before I go into how to achieve that health and beauty and sexiness from a physical point of view, I want to start with a psychological and spiritual approach first. And I call this an inner cosmetology, or what I like to call it is lipstick of the soul. Lipstick of the soul. You could take a woman, voluptuous body, gorgeous, beautiful features on her face, beautiful hair, but she just doesn't have that magnetic quality. And you don't know what's wrong. I mean, you look at the features and you go, wow, but there's no connection. That's because of the inner cosmetology. When your heart is sweet and loving, it enhances the glow in your eyes. When your heart is sweet and loving, it enhances the glow in your eyes and affects the lines on your face. We've all seen a woman that's been jaded and hurt and just turned off to the world. And it's just lines come around the face and around the brow. And after a while, she just looks like just that negativity. Now, if you're a woman with great features and a great body, but you're always blaming others, well, blaming is ugly. It'll make a woman ugly. Yes. So, there's a cure for that. That's why I'm going to talk about the inner cosmetology, which is to follow the way of honor, or the 4 commands of honor. You do the 4 commands of honor 3 times a day, and it will beautify your whole being and how you carry yourself. You'll carry yourself with more integrity. You'll be standing up straighter. You have more self-respect and self-esteem by living with honor. I'm defining honor as loyalty to your highest constructive values as enshrined within the 4 commands of honor, while striving to cause no harm physically and emotionally. Command number 1, I wish you well. Wow. That's like a beautiful, that's a beauty tonic. I wish you well. Now that's going to add beauty to your face and to your figure. I wish you well. It's going to add to your health, as opposed to, I want to get you back. I'm so angry. I'm going to have my revenge. You get into all that. It's natural sometimes to have that, but you want to balance it with, I wish you well. So you want to be saying these 4 commands of honor 3 times a day. I wish you well. That's like very good makeup. It's like the best lipstick, the best rouge, best eyeliners. I wish you well. Inner cosmetology. Next, I take full responsibility for co-creating my reality and my problems. That's going to blame you for everything. You might have caused the problem. You might have started it. But if I'm getting into it and I'm blaming you and pointing a finger at you and yelling at you, well, that's a violation of your honor. And it'll make you ugly, especially if you do it a lot. Well, you say, you know what? I'm co-creating this. I've added to this. You're empowering yourself. You say, I'm not just a victim. I'm adding to this so I can help correct it. Hey, I apologize for the way I'm adding to this problem. Please forgive me. I won't do it again. Not to beat yourself up about doing something like that, but it gets you out of the blaming. It gets you out of taking an ugly pill. Blaming is an ugly pill. You have ways to make yourself beautiful, and you have ways to make yourself ugly. That's an ugly pill. I'm really talking straight to you, ladies, because I think you're beautiful. I've seen you, gorgeous women, and beautiful heart. But you got to know these things. Let's keep that beauty going for all your life. This is an eternal beauty. I'm grateful for the power I gained from hardship. See, you're not just complaining, oh, this happened to me in my life and I went through this and that and the other thing. It all could be true. That's the best, true, worst story you could tell yourself. The best, true, worst story. And it's all true. But it's only half the story. Look at the gain. Look at what the benefit it led to. It probably made you wiser, more compassionate. There's always a best, true story about anything you're going through. Certainly it's applied to my life. You can always find that. So when you have the complaints, complaining is an ugly pill. It's all right. You've got a legitimate beef. I'm not saying you don't have a legitimate beef, but it's only half the story. The other side of it is a gain. And if you really look closely and you're honest with yourself, you will see again. I've told so many stories in so many of my lectures about all these people that I've known who have a good story about something terrible they're going through. And I know if you search, you'll see it in your life. I've seen it in my life. I've shared it many times. So that way, a victim, now there is such a thing as a true victim. A woman gets trapped or raped. I mean, she's a victim. But that's rare. Most 99.9% of what you go through, what I go through, we've co-created it. We've co-created it. So you take responsibility for co-creating that and realizing the ways that we've learned from it and benefited. We tell ourselves the best true story. That is so awesome. I'm grateful for the power I gained from hardship. That's the command of honor. And the variation is, what's the best true story I can tell myself about this problem? Another derivative is, I come back stronger than ever. I hope to come back much stronger than ever. So if you're going to complain to yourself and to others, when you finish your complaint, you then say, but you know what? I hope to come back much stronger than ever. That's a beauty pill. Yes, it is. That's a beauty pill. No one's told you that, but I'm telling you, that's a beauty pill. I've told you what's an ugly pill, and I'm telling you what's a beauty pill. Then you have one of two. If you believe in God as I do, God, your wish is my only wish. If you're doing God's will, and you're applying that in any situation you're in, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful heart. And that will beautify your face and beautify your whole body. If you don't believe in God or want to address God, I seek always to serve my highest values. That keeps you in a lofty way of being in life. It's a path. This path of honor is a path of no regrets. Regret is an ugly pill. You don't want to have regrets in life. You live honorably. It's not always the easiest thing to do all the time, but it's a path of no regret. It's the path of lipstick of the soul. It's the inner cosmetology. Now, one of the laws of honor, I'll tell you in a moment. But let me tell you about your wonderful, beautiful, you're so beautiful, so many of you. But age and sickness, or you get in an accident. And I'll tell you, you could take the most beautiful woman in the world, gorgeous. You take out these 4 teeth. Oh, and then she smiles. Oh, no. That beauty's gone. Well, she gets some implants, get a dent, she'll get something. She fix it up. But without that, she's not going to be very pretty. I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you for a fact. So the beauty is fragile. You get in an accident, face gets disfigured, or you get some disease, and you have to get a breast cut off, or God forbid, or you're getting scars in your face from what happened, and many things can happen in life. You get older and stuff starts sagging and creasing. You're not going to like it. There are ways to prevent some of that. So, my self-respect and self-esteem depend only on my honor. My self-respect and self-esteem depend only on my honor. Nobody can take your honor. Not disease, not an accident, not age, not time, nobody. My self-respect and self-esteem depend only on my honor. You want to say that 3 times a day when you're doing your commands of honor 3 times a day. And you want to commit to doing it all your life. And then you want to have what I call the bridge between honor and reality. Bridge, what's the most honorable thing to think, say, and do? So honor becomes the gold standard for everything you're doing in life. Everything. You're no longer looking for happiness on this path. You're looking for honor, which turns out to be the best foundation for true happiness. So you're following this way of honor. I'm going to tell you ways to beautify your body and your health. And by the way, your health will make you more beautiful physically, no question about it. Your face can glow, your skin can glow, your eyes can glow. If you're eating if you're having beans, greens, and berries every day, beans, greens, and berries, and then whatever else you want to have on top of that, but that will help get you glowing. Now, you've got this. I've given you what I call the psychological and spiritual foundation for you manifesting more and more beauty in your life. You beautiful women. It'll make you more beautiful, and it'll keep you from getting ugly. You'll be taking beauty pills and not ugly pills. If you need to lose weight, a lot of women feel, I've got too much weight on me. Yeah, and postpartum, if you're breastfeeding, you don't want to try to lose weight. But if you finish breastfeeding, eat broccoli every day. That'll help take the weight off. Broccoli. And then broccoli and chicken breast will really do a lot of protein with that broccoli. Take it right down. So you want to be healthy. You want to have that radiance, that glow. Now, one way, I said beans, greens, and berries. You want to make sure you're getting vitamin D, at least 6,000 IUs a day. That's going to be good for you. And you want to make sure you're getting your vitamin A, having cantaloupe, carrots, orange, yellow vegetables will do that. You want to make sure you're getting your collagen to keep the elasticity in your skin. These are just some health tips. You want to make sure your hair is the way you want it. You can take B vitamins, particularly biotin. That's good for your hair. You want to be having a blood test. And you want to see how your thyroid's doing. If your thyroid is underactive, it's very easy to correct with a tiny little pill you take every day. If your thyroid's underactive, you'll gain weight. It's hard to lose weight. You'll lose hair. You start getting depressed and you're tired. So that's one of the first things you want to look for. How is your thyroid doing? You want to go for not normal, which is a TSH under 4. You want to go for optimal, which is between 1 and 2 on your TSH. Now, if your blood sugar is going up, and your A1C is going up, which is a measure of average over 3 months, you can have insulin resistance. It causes dementia. It causes cancer. It causes cardiovascular disease. It causes diabetes. You don't want to have your blood sugar levels going up. Normal is under 100 for your fasting glucose level. You want to get it between 75 and 85. You want to cut down any kind of processed foods, with high glycemic carbs. If you have to have carbs, have beans. That's a lower glycemic. If you're having sugar or cake, pasta, tortillas that are covering it, it's going to raise your blood sugar. By the way, when it comes to rice, there's no difference between a fistful of white rice and a fistful of sugar, because the white rice will turn to glucose in your bloodstream and raise your blood sugar. So the blood sugar, you want to keep that between 75 and 85, and you want to keep your A1C as close to 5 as possible. If you hit 5.8, you're then considered, some people say diabetic, some people say pre-diabetic. A very good herb to take to bring down insulin resistance, bring down your blood sugar, is berberine. Berberine, 500 milligrams 3 times a day. That will definitely bring down your blood sugar. If you need to, you can take the medication called metformin. Metformin will not only reduce your insulin resistance, lower your blood sugar, it will prevent various cancers, and it activates different longevity pathways like the MK pathway. Beautiful drug. A lot of the drugs you don't want to be on, have side effects, whatever. That's always a risk. But this is one of the miracle drugs, and it's inexpensive. It's been around for many, many years. So you want to be making sure taking care of your health. And certainly, and part of that is you want to keep your muscles firm and strong. Firm and strong. As you're doing weightlifting, you're doing exercise, you're going to burn up that blood sugar. You're going to reduce your insulin resistance. You're going to generate more mitochondria in your whole body and in your brain. That's the energy powerhouse of every cell. So you want to be doing your exercise. And then as you're building up muscles, I'm not talking about getting all cut up and jacked up in muscles. No, you can lift weights. You particularly want to make sure that your legs are strong, because when you become an old lady, you get to be 90, 100 years old, your big danger for you is falling and breaking your hip. That's the beginning of the end for many women and men as well. Keep your legs strong. do squats, like 10 squats, 4 sets of 10 squats a day. If you get to the gym, do leg presses, weighted squats. Leg presses are good. But even just body weight squats, 10, 4 sets a day, that'll really keep your legs strong. Then you want to do toe calf raises like that. You're going up and down on your toes. That'll keep you pumping blood into your calves, strengthen your calves, make your legs even more shapely. And one pump is your heart. The other pump is your calves. It's actually for your venal blow to keep the veins, that blood over there pumping and going from your calves. So I go about 4 or 5 times a day between seeing patients, whatever I'm doing. You'll see me doing about 20 reps of that. Now, let's talk about sexiness. Now, certainly health is a part of that. The inner cosmetology is part of that. But let me tell you about sexiness. It's all related to procreation. It's all unconscious what goes on, what men respond to. And I'll tell you what men respond to. Firm, strong legs. That means if you have strong, firm legs, that shows that you can move your hips. It's all about getting that sperm to fertilize the egg, the penis to go in as deep, and to hit that egg, shorten the distance and get it going as fast as possible. So a woman that can move her hips can pull out that sperm better. Whether she's on the bottom, she can lift them up and move her hips around and pull out the sperm, or she's on top. Procreation. It's about procreation. So those legs, firm and strong, that's what you want. Then, of course, we have a flat belly. It makes the breasts more pronounced. So the breasts are pronounced, even if they're small. If your belly's flat, it'll make your breasts pronounced even when they're small. Of course, you have medium and large breasts, they come out even more. Why is that part of sexiness? Because that suggests to a man they have good mammary glands to feed the baby. It's all about procreation and survival of the baby and your survival as well. Survival of the baby. If you have good mammary glands, you're going to be able to give that baby some good milk. And so, without thinking about it, guy's not thinking about that. He's just getting turned on to the sexiness. Oh, she's hot. Well, it's because of these procreation cues going on. Now, certainly the more the breast, when a woman walks in, what do you see first? Her face and her breasts. So many women tell me, well, my breasts are getting saggy. So there's an exercise in the natural breasts if some women want to get surgeries done. I don't recommend it. It's a last resort. But there are women who raise their breasts like 2 inches within a month, an inch. The lowest has been a half inch in a month. But on the average, women using this exercise raise their breasts up a good inch in a month. And that makes a woman feel sexy. The perkier your breast, the perkier you feel. And it hides a multitude of other things because the breasts are out there. Particularly, you want your breasts much further out than your belly. So here's the exercise. So you're compressing like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So every 10th one, you're holding it. It keeps the breasts up. And that will, you'll see results. You want to get 400 of those a day. That's going to help you. And particularly women with large breasts, you get older, or you've been breastfeeding the child, they get saggy afterwards. This will keep them up, and you'll like it. I had one of my patients had small, saggy breasts. The breast came up 2 inches. Her nipples were pointing up. She liked it. Her partner loved it. So this adds to the sexiness. So that's the physical dimension, procreation, and being able to feed the baby, and having a strong presence in that way. That's really the cues. Now, the guy, as I said, is not thinking about, she'll be able to feed the baby. He just likes the breast. And so when I talk about strong legs, that includes the butt, because the strong glutes, strong thighs, all that looks sexy because it means you can move those hips. And that's what it takes to draw out that sperm. So that's the psychology of sexiness. That's the biology. That's the evolutionary, anatomical, biological dimension to sexiness that I know nobody's told you, but that's what it is. That's what it is. So now you know to strive for that lipstick of the soul, living with honor, a spiritual, psychological strengthening, repeating yourself 3 times a day. My self-esteem and self-respect depend only on my honor. And by the way, only honor makes you a success also. You could be gorgeous, rich woman, but if you don't have honor, well, that woman's a loser. Honor, and only honor makes you a success. Then, of course, you want to make all the money you can, look beautiful, all the rest. So we've now gone over, this is my clinical observations. I've been studying this for a long time as a human being. And I've given many lectures on the way and the beauty of a woman. I have a book on that on my honestherapy.com. But this is really taking it to another level today, based on a lot of my clinical observations that I've made and examining what's really going on. So now I've told you what's really going on. And I've told many of my patients about this. You know what women tell me? I say, what do you feel about what I just told you? They say, yeah, I can see the truth. I never looked at it that way. So nobody's disagreed with it. Nobody. It's just, it's just valid information I'm giving you. So we have many wonderful people here with us today. And so just keep in mind that you benefit as much or more from hearing each other as you do hearing me. So I want to open it up to you to ask whatever questions, whatever comments you want to make. Please feel free to do so.
Dr. Nerenberg, Diego here.
Diego! Good to hear from you, Diego.
How you doing, sir?
Good.
Good. Thank you, Dr. Nerenberg. I really wish my sister and my mother would have heard this conversation. I think they would have really benefited from everything that you said, particularly about not so much the physical part. I think my sister more so would have benefited from that. But just like the psychological aspect of beauty as well, I think they would have benefited a lot. But I had a question for you. The second part of the second commandment, I take more responsibility of co-creating my problems and my reality. I feel that's something that would really help my mother, because I think she always has a victim's mentality. She kind of had that all of her life.
Diego,
that kind of rubbed off on me.
Diego, let me tell you something. I know you. I consider you a great man. You can never talk a victim into doing it. It's very hard to talk somebody into that. See, you come to me because you want help. All of you beautiful people come to me because you want help. I can reach you. But your mother's not coming to you for help. She's not asking you for your advice. It's hard to reach somebody like that. All you could do is demonstrate it in your life where you take responsibility. She sees that humility in you, because humility is beautiful. She sees it in you. Hey, listen. We all have a propensity to blame. That's why I came up with that command. That's why that was revealed to me. And it doesn't matter what religion you are, it's consistent with scriptures of every religion known to humankind. To not blame, not to look for the cinder in the other person's eye when you have a big rock in your own eye. Deal with yourself. It's in all religions. So, good point. Manifest it yourself. Do not expect your mother to change. I'll send you a copy of this video. It'll be on honestherapy.com. It'll be uploaded. You can share it with mom. Share it with your sister. And they'll take out of it what they will. I've talked about the ugly pills. I've talked about the beauty pills when it comes to the psychological, spiritual dimensions. This stuff works. Thank you, Diego. I'm really, really pleased with your comments and your questions. Very much so.
Yeah, really appreciate that, Doctor. Some of the things that you've talked about, it's better late than never, I would say. But I feel like a 20-year-old version of me would have benefited from all of that. And I would have kind of learned some of these things that took me later in life.
Diego, let me tell you something, Diego. I discovered the truth of taking responsibility for myself when I was about 31. Guess what? It changed my life. I loved it. Within 2 or 3 months, I forgot about it. For 15, 20 years, I forgot about it. Then I rediscovered it. And then I said, okay, I don't want to forget it again. That's why I have you repeat it 3 times a day. I call these not only the 4 commands of honor, I call them the 4 reminders of honor. If you don't remind yourself the rest of your life, as soon as you stop reminding yourself, you will forget. Just as I did. That's why you got to do it 3 times a day for the rest of your life. Otherwise, you will not live this. One of the great tragedies of life is to know the truth that will make you free and not live that truth. Like I did. I knew that truth. I knew how beautiful it was. I knew how great it was making me feel. And then I forgot. I went back to blaming. And then 20 years later or so, I rediscovered it and I put it into a command of honor. And then I said, you know what? I better do this 3 times a day for life. And then I saw it was working, and then I started teaching it to others. I saw it working, and I saw rapid transformations in my people, beautiful transformations, rapidly. So yes, but you got to repeat 3 times a day, Diego. Are you prepared to do that for life?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, let me tell you something. Most people don't keep up with this. Most people in my program don't, maybe 5 or 10% at most keep up with it after they're not a patient. Now, every session, Bert and I tell our patients, do this all your life. Never stop. Are you committed to doing this for all your life? People say yes. I'm hoping we can get it from 5% who keep up with it to 10 or 20% if we're lucky. Because people get busy in their lives and they forget it. And then when they come to see me again, many come back eventually. I say, did you keep up with your commands of honor? No, I got busy and this, that. What are you talking about? You got busy. It takes 8 seconds. You can do it while you're driving, while you're sitting on a toilet, in the shower. Give me a break. You're too busy to just say this to yourself. 8 seconds. Time me right now. God, your wish is my only wish. I wish you well. I take full responsibility for co-creating my reality and my problems. I'm grateful for the power I gained from hardship. And now another 4 seconds. What's the most honorable thing to think, say, and do? That's 12 seconds. When I'm backing out of my driveway in the morning, I say it. When I'm driving back home, I say it. In the middle of the day, I say it. No big deal. No big deal. I'm not going to forget it again. Oh, no. Oh,
Dr. Nerenberg.
Yes. Hi there, Joanne.
Hi. I've been teaching my boyfriend to say, I wish you well. I wish you well. And we've been driving and somebody will cut him off. And the first thing out of his mouth is, I wish you well.
Is that working for him?
It really has worked for him. And
well,
it's amazing.
No, you're an amazing teacher. Well, one, your boyfriend's amazing that he's following your advice. A lot of people won't follow that kind of advice, but he did. Bravo to him. Now, the full thing you could say is, I refuse to allow you to control my anger ever. I wish you well. That's the full thing, because why do you want to turn control over to this person, that you don't know, you'll never see again, to make you a raving lunatic and endanger your life?
That's exactly what I tell him.
I refuse to allow you to control.
Let him get to you. I wish you well.
I refuse to allow you to control my anger ever, and I wish you well. I've got a lot of videos on road rage because I'm considered the world's leading authority on road rage. I've given many lectures. I was once moderately famous in the media back in the 90s. But yeah, no, that's the approach. Very good, Joanne. Teaching the way of honor, it will strengthen it within you. Very good, Joanne. I'm proud of you. And Diego, thank you for those wonderful questions you had. Wonderful, wonderful comments.
Thank you, Doctor.
You're welcome. Yeah, now Hugh's got something he wants to say.
It's very important for guys to look at girls carefully, because the outer beauty can seduce you, but if the inner beauty isn't there, the relationship will be horrible.
Yeah, Hugh was saying the outer beauty can seduce a man, but if the inner beauty is not there, you can have a miserable time. Very, very true. A lot of times you can't tell what that inner situation. You got to look how a woman is, but a man can be so blinded by that beauty. He may not outer beauty. It's hard for him to see, what the character is, because he's so attracted to her, or the sex is so good that it blinds him to everything else. Then eventually he finds out, this wasn't a good match for me. By the way, I need to also tell you, wonderful women, you want to protect your health, because if you get breast cancer, you're not going to look as good. If you get sick, you're not going to look as good. So I want, for men and women, for women to protect yourself from getting breast cancer, and for men to protect yourself from getting prostate cancer, don't have dairy products, no milk, no cheese, and drink pomegranate juice every day, 8 ounces of pomegranate juice every day. It's been shown to shrink any tumors related to prostate cancer and breast cancer and slow down the metastasizing rate. It's a good prevention for having a breast cancer. So you want to be definitely doing that, and you want to cut out dairy products, because the casein protein is known, if you read the China study by Dr. Campbell, thick report on this, it's called, listen, is milk healthy? Absolutely. It's good for your bones, has good protein. Also it'll kill you. I used to drink a lot of milk. That's how I got prostate cancer when I was 65. Fortunately, I had a prostatectomy. We got it out. It didn't spread, so I'm good to go by the grace of God. So I don't want you to have to go through that. Make sure you're getting your pomegranate juice every day. Knock out. Once in a while, I have some cheese or some yogurt, but I wouldn't do it often. I wouldn't have too much. So part of it is your beauty, beautify yourself. Get the makeup, put on lipstick. That's all good. Get your hair done. All that's good. Keep your inner cosmetology going. Keep your commands of honor going. And then, of course, when you have that beauty, you have a responsibility because your feminine charms are a lot of power. So you have responsibility to use that power honorably. And you define for yourself what that means. You want to use your beauty honorably. Yes, you.
2 things that will destroy your looks early: alcohol and smoking.
Well, alcohol and smoking destroy your looks early. You get all wrinkled up and you die of, lung cancer or whatever. And alcohol causes cancer, even small amounts. So, good point. These are 2 things you want to avoid: smoking and alcohol. And many of our wonderful people, they don't smoke, but they do drink. And they might say, well, I just drink once in a while. Well, once in a while is like just shooting yourself in the foot. Just once in a while. You don't want to be doing it. And the less the better, and none is the best in terms of, I had a wonderful cousin just recently passed from breast cancer, metastatic breast cancer. Wonderful person. She fought for 8 years bravely to stay here. Then she left. And she used to drink a lot. She drinks just occasionally now. That's my suspicion of what caused it. But otherwise, she led a healthy lifestyle. So I recommend you give up drinking, or certainly reduce it as much as you can. But the best way to drink is not to drink. I stopped drinking years ago. It was never a big deal in my life, but I totally stopped many years ago. Very good point. Thank you for bringing that up. Excellent point. Excellent. Anybody else have anything you want to ask or say?
Hi, doctor. This is John. Can you hear me?
This is John?
John, yes.
Yes, John. Welcome. I hear you very well.
Yeah, just one point that I also wanted to make was that, living honorably, and this is just towards women as well, actually helps you attract honorable men too. Just because 17 to 18 years ago, and to answer that other gentleman's question too about being deceived, you gain experience, right? You date the pretty girls and you realize certain things. And my wife, for all standards, when we were 17 years old, I mean, she was basically like a supermodel. She was 6 foot, in shape, beautiful. And everybody just saw a supermodel, but what I saw in her was the honor that she lived by. She was honest. She was truthful. We didn't have sex until, I proposed to her, that kind of thing. It was that kind of girl that she really had her certain principles and honor in her and in her word. And that really attracted to me above everything else. And after I met her, I just told my friend, I'm going to marry this woman. I knew that I lived that certain kind of lifestyle and she did too. So,
well, John, let me tell you something. You being honorable, attracted honor, and you're able to recognize the honor. And what a lucky man you are, because a beautiful wife could be a disaster, especially if she's not faithful. I'm married to a beautiful woman, totally honorable, totally committed. No issues around that at all. Excellent. Excellent. If men hit on her, she tells me men hit on her at times. I say, well, that just shows they have good taste, because I'm not worried at all. I know she knows how to just fend it off. So I say, oh, that guy has good taste. So I can understand. She's a gorgeous woman. She just knows how to fend it. Since she was young, she's been had men always around her, so she's learned how to just push them away in a nice way. So whereas some women would like that attention and encourage it, that's dangerous. So I think some of it's luck, but a lot of it's being honorable yourself, and that you're more likely to attract it. Very good point, John. Very good point. Like attracts like very often. Correct. Excellent point. It's still a little bit of a gamble whenever we get married. There's always something hidden, something comes out that we didn't know about. But you're right. That puts it the odds more in your favor. Absolutely true.
Yeah, because also if you live honorably, like on our commandments as well, it's like even when there's problems, we're honest about them right from the beginning. So it's like, and accountability is huge. So yeah, I'm just I am definitely lucky, but also it's nice to have met somebody that lives by honor. And
hey, you're lucky, and your wife is lucky to have met you. Works both ways.
Thank you, doctor.
Very lucky both ways. You're welcome, John. Anybody else have any questions or comments?
Good evening, Dr. Nerenberg. It's Ann.
Ann, good to see you, Ann.
Good to see you again. I just wanted to reiterate the outside piece, right? The fresh air, the vitamin D that you touched on. I know very important, especially, I mean, we're lucky that we have had some great weather, but I really feel that has helped tremendously along, Dr. Nerenberg, with what the exercise that you showed me about holding in the abdomen for 10 seconds and doing it.
Thank you for reminding me. Let me just demonstrate. So what it's called vacuums. I showed you the breast exercise. That'll get your breast perkier. The one for the abdomen to shrink your belly. Pull your belly button towards your spine. Hold it. Let it out. If you do that 100 times in a day, every day, you'll shrink your belly by about an inch in a month. You won't lose fat, but you'll be strengthening the intra-abdominal muscles, and as that gets toned up, it'll shrink the belly. You get a good inch out of it. So doing your compressions, you can raise your breast an inch, and doing your vacuums, you suck your belly in an inch. That's pretty sexy. That adds to your beauty. Very good. Thanks for reminding me about the vacuums.
No problem. I didn't hear it, so I wanted to make sure you shared it.
No, Ann, thank you so much for reminding. It's helped you. Yeah. How much would you say you've lost on your belly size from the vacuums?
Probably at least over an inch.
And you told me your pants are looser?
Yeah. And since I've started to see you, and it's been about 35 to 40 pounds. So
well, that's great. I mean, that's diet. Yeah, losing that weight is what you're eating.
Berries.
There you go.
Really, it helps. So
good.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you. You're doing a good job psychologically, spiritually, and physically. Good going. And how old are you again, Ann?
Oh, Dr. Nerenberg, you never asked a woman her age.
But I want people to know because they might think, well, she's in her 20s, and so you can just get up past.
I'm in my 20s. You can add over 20 years.
Yeah, so you're in your 40s.
I'm 50.
You're 50. So now that's something to be proud of. To look as good as you at 50, and you're still able to lose that weight and tone yourself up in your belly like that. I want to give hope to the younger women that you can do it. Ann has done it, and she's 50. Look, I tell people all the time, I'm 83, and I work out, and I'm strong, and that gives encouragement to younger guys. Oh, wow, I guess if he can do it, I can do it. So that's the encouragement. Thank you for sharing that, Ann. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nerenberg. Good to see you again.
Always good to see you, Ann.
Hey, Doctor, Diego here again.
Diego, always good to hear from you, Diego.
Hey, Doctor, really enjoyed this chat here that you had. Really great topics and great piece of advice for women. I think you should also do one for men, just kind of catering more to men.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of men will benefit as well for some of your insights, especially you that you've been through peak fitness and all that. I think that would really help us too.
I think I'll do it. I did it for women because, but I will do one for men. Thank you for that suggestion, Diego. Men, it affects their self-esteem to some extent, but women are extremely affects their self-esteem disproportionately. Men are affected more by their income and women more by their beauty. But men definitely have it. I can talk to men how to be, very fit and handsome and living with honor. I will do that. I will do that. Thank you for that suggestion.
You're welcome. Thank you, Doctor.
Yeah, thank you. Well, it's been my pleasure and my privilege to present the psychology of women's beauty, health, and sexiness. Thank you for being here with me.
The sea of destiny is in your deepest struggle. God's will and mine be one, and I wish you well. You are co-creator, respectfully real. There's a way in the valley that turns weakness to steel. We're known through all eternity. From strife we gain power, clothed in grace and love, disciples of honor. All the days of our lives refuse the way of shame. We wish nobody harm, have no one to blame. Your high calling will be done, and pure eyes now glow. In darkness crave the good, like waters from the desert flow. I pledge my love all the days of my life. I pledge my soul to all that is good. I pledge my heart to my brothers and sisters who I join in the light, leave a legacy of honor. We're known through all eternity. From strife we gain power, clothed in grace and love, disciples of honor. All the days of our lives refuse the way of shame. We wish nobody harm, have no one to blame. Your high calling will be done, and pure eyes now glow. In darkness crave the good, like waters from the desert flow.